He's captured 15 races and has dominated the 3-year-old pacing Colts division. He's Western Hanover, and he headlines tonight's Breeders' Crown in Northfield, Ohio. In his last race, a crown elimination, he was second best, but had an excuse: equipment problems. Still tonight, he may be all out to find the winner's circle. For just a week ago, in another elimination, Bull Von's Dream wired the field and equaled a track record. And with leading driver John Campbell in the sulky, he may be headed for another dreamlike performance.
Well, I was fortunate enough to get the drive on him. I've watched him race all year and raced against him with direct flight earlier in the year, and he's been very consistent. And I think he's getting sharp at the right time.
Coming up next, the swan song of the 1992 Breeders' Crown season. 2 races for 3-year-olds and a showcase for 2 of harness racing superstars. We're live 20 miles southeast of Cleveland, Ohio, at the home of the Flying Turns Northfield Park Harness. And welcome to the final Breeders' Crown event of 1992 as the 3-year-old Pacers take center stage in 2 championship races. Winter has arrived early on the North Coast. It snowed yesterday. There were flurries today. It is snowing tonight. Temperatures could plummet as low as 25 degrees. The wind is calm. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bruce Beck. Welcome to the culmination of the harness racing season and the grand finale of the Breeders' Crown Spectacular for 1992. Tonight we feature the 3-year-old Pacers. We begin with the fillies, and then we move on to the sports glamour division, the 3-year-old pacing Colts. Working with me is Harness Hall of Famer Stan Bergstein. And Stan, when you look at the Colts, you have to mention the name Western Hanover. Even if he loses tonight, is he still divisional champ?
Absolutely. He is divisional champion because of tremendous consistency. In 21 of 23 races, he has finished first or second, including his last 14 starts going back to July 10th when he was beaten in the Meadowlands Pace. He didn't win the $1 million North America Cup either, but he did win 2 legs of the Triple Crown of Pacing and $1.5 million. His owner, George Siegel, is a story in himself, the outstanding owner in horse racing in America this year. 6 of his horses have won $250,000 or more, and another 4 horses in Siegel's stable have won over $100,000. Unprecedented.
And here's a look at the morning line odds. Number 1 is Survivor Gold at 2-1. Bull Von's Dream, who tied a track record last week in elimination, 3-1. Western Hanover, that's the one owned by George Siegel, 9-5. Kingsbridge listed at 10-1. Number 5, Humstinger, 20-1. Bo Notes Jate, 10-1. Doug Arthur, who broke Cam Fella, will do the driving. He's also the trainer. Crouch is listed at 12-1 with fine driver Mike LaChance. And Lawful Hanover from the outside, Bill O'Donnell will drive at 30-1. You know, since 1989, the Hambletonian Society and the Breeders' Crown, along with racetracks all around North America, have raised over $300,000 to support Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America. In recent years, athletes lending their name to this cause include Hank Aaron, Lynn Swan, and John Campbell. And in recent months, Northfield Park here in Ohio has caught the charitable fever. Children are the hope of a better and brighter tomorrow. The sport of harness racing also depends on the involvement and interest of future generations, and the connection between the two needs constant nurturing. One facet of that relationship that has flourished is the link between the Breeders' Crown and the national charity Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. The charity is the only national youth service organization based on a one-to-one relationship between an adult volunteer and a child. Earlier this fall, Northfield Park, tonight's host track for the Breeders' Crown, invited members of the local affiliate of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America to participate in a Youth Foundation camp. It was an exciting and refreshing experience for numerous inner-city kids, many who were visiting the racetrack for the first time. Drivers and trainers volunteered to show the children all about the standardbred sport. They explained everything from the behind-the-scenes to a day at the races. A special part of the day-long activities was watching horses swim. In harness racing, this activity can be used as both a rehabilitative and conditioning tool. From the pool to the picnic tables, where the youngsters enjoyed a delicious lunch. It's important to mention that this track is just one of many in North America which gives back.
course, we're very happy to be hosting the Breeders' Crown this year at Northfield Park and have the opportunity to work with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater America and the Cleveland chapter as well. In addition to raising money and support for the Big Brothers Big Sisters agency, we wanted to have an event here for the children because the kids are what it's all about. So we asked the Harness Horse Youth Foundation to come out and help us, and the time and work that we put into it is all worth it when we see the smiles on these kids' faces.
It was a fun-filled day, but also a learning experience.
These kids can benefit by being with a horse, and that is a whole nother facet of the business. If you can go back to the backstretch and one-on-one be with an animal and know that you make a difference, that's a whole new message that most of these kids have never had. It's not like raising a dog, because when you send a horse to the racetrack and you're in the paddock, that horse is there because of you, and you can really feel good about yourself.
The highlight of the afternoon for area kids was the first-hand jog around Northfield's half-mile oval. The youngsters were thrilled by the drive and seemed genuinely flabbergasted by the power of a racehorse.
What a rush. I like this.
Each year, the Hambletonian Society Breeders' Crown selects an individual in the sport of harness racing as recipient of the Frederick L. Van Lennep Memorial Award. Van Lennep was instrumental in creating the Breeders' Crown program. This year's honoree is Bud Hatfield of Columbus, Ohio, a man who has owned and bred racehorses for the past 20 years. The auto industry magnate in the Midwest is also an enthusiastic supporter of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. Now, the prices aren't ready yet, and that's because for the first time in the history of the standardbred sport, a national twin trifecta is being offered at this track and at 51 other different tracks. We'll try to get it together for you in a moment. We're still waiting for the prices once again. 51 different outlets in 9 states tonight participating in a national twin trifecta. What you have to do is pick the top 3 finishers in the first Breeders' Crown race. Then you are already a winner and get a chance to go back to the windows and pick the top 3 finishers in the next Breeders' Crown race and get a chance to hit the jackpot. But as we mentioned earlier, a little bit of difficulty in getting all of those amounts into one facility, hence the prices are not ready yet. Well, John Campbell with another victory tonight. Campbell continues his domination in the Breeders' Crown. As you can see, he has driven in 91 of 101 races. He just earned his 22nd championship. His career earnings over $7 million, and now So Fresh, Immortality, and Arts Place, all winners for John Campbell in 1992. And he will have another drive in tonight's 3-year-old Colt pace. That will be Bulvan's Dream, who tied the track record just 1 week ago in the eliminations. Right now, let's go to Gary Seibel.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. And joining me now is Gene Rigo, Hall of Famer, trainer of Western Hanover. Now, Gene, tell everybody what happened last week in the elimination. Actually, before the elimination with Western Hanover, a little bit of an equipment problem.
Yeah, we lost a shoe last week, so they got him patched up, but then it come off again during the race. So tonight, I hope that shoe stays on tonight.
And, of course, he finished second to Bulvan's Dream, or actually Survivor Gold, in that race. Do you think it affected his performance?
It probably did a little. I heard the track was awful hard here last week. I wasn't here last week, but it had to affect him a little.
About tonight's race, of course, you finished second last week. You had to draw between post positions 3 and 4. You're out there in post 3 now, and you've got 2 real speedballs on the inside. How do you see your chances, and how do you see the race shaping up?
Well, I think my Colt will have to come first over tonight, which he always does, you know, but I don't know how the race will break. You never know till they holler go, but I feel real good about his chances tonight.
And his chances tonight, you like that very much?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Bruce?
All right, we'll finally have the official prices for the 3-year-old filly pace. So Fresh, $220, $210, $210. Price is okay. Come Unwound, $3 and $210. And Simply Ravishing, $2.10. A short break, and we'll be back to Northfield. Well, the snow has subsided a bit at Northfield Park Harness. It's called Cleveland's Casino, and every 19 minutes, this place goes crazy. We're standing by for the glamour division of the Breeders' Crown, the 3-year-old Colt Pace, which over the years has produced some terrific stories, some fine races, and of course, some great race horses. Here's a look at the current odds with Survivor Gold, 2-1, Boulevard's Dream 3-1, and Western Hanover at 9-5. So the public is viewing this as a 3-horse race. We're set for the post parade right now, and first on the track is number 1, Survivor Gold.
Winner of this year's Art Rooney Pace at Yonkers, another half-mile track over Western Hanover this last July. A strong elimination winner over Western last week. Survivor Gold makes his first Breeders' Crown start here. Good gate speed in the rail, a tough combo.
Driver Dave Wall is one of the top drivers in the Ontario Jockey Club circuit. He's won over 200 races for 9 straight years, makes just his 3rd start in the Breeders' Crown. Number 2, Boulevard's Dream.
He took the lead in his elim and never looked back, most likely thinking he was the best. Now, he's quietly earned nearly $400,000 this year and may try to repeat a strong win of a week ago.
John Campbell is Harness Racing's first $100 million man, a member of the Harness Hall of Fame. He's excelled in the Crown, but he has never won the 3-year-old Colt Pace. It's the only title which has eluded him. Number 3, Western Hanover.
Bruce, more money in the bank this year than any other harness horse. He's got over $1.5 million in 92, and he didn't even win either one of the sport's $1 million races, the North American Cup or the Meadowlands Pace. He is the fastest horse in the field at 150-4.
Bill Fay and Western Hanover have been inseparable this year, and the veteran reinsman has showed his talent in the process. He should be comfortable at Northfield Park. He's excelled at this track before. There's number 4, Kingsbridge.
He won an elimination of the North America Cup in a lifetime best, 153-4, and was 3rd in the final. He was sick just before the Little Brown Jug, but is rounding into shape nicely now, according to his connections.
Although a newcomer to Breeders' Crown races, Roger Mayotte is no rookie. A native of Mississauga, Ontario. He's driven the winners of more than $1 million in each of the past 9 years. Number 5 is Humstinger.
He's the only gelding in the field of 3-year-old pacing colts. This son of No Nukes has made a fair amount of money without really winning a big race. He's got 270 on his card in 92. He had some breathing problems at the beginning of the year.
30-year-old Dave Pallone is the dominant driver at Ladbroke at the Meadows in western Pennsylvania. Number 6 is Bo Knows Jate.
Now, for those racing fans who believe in omens, Bruce, it should be pointed out that 3 colts, Boulevard's Dream, Crouch, and Bo Knows Jate, had their photos taken earlier in the week wearing hats of the presidential candidates' names on them. Bo Knows Jate wearing Bill Clinton's hat.
Let's welcome Doug Arthur to Breeders' Crown action. Considered a wizard at choosing and developing colts, he's known for developing the sensational racehorse and sire, Cam Fella. Number 7 is Crouch.
An Abercrombie colt who races well from off the pace, and that may work to his advantage tonight if the fractions are swift. He's won over $250,000 this year. As a matter of fact, he missed getting a check just 5 times in 34 lifetime starts.
Former New York Kingpin Mike LaChance is now world-renowned as a pilot and has won driving titles at 7 different tracks. He has won more than 6,000 races. And number 8 completing this field is Lawful Hanover.
A big towner colt from the highly successful Bob McIntosh stable. Only 2 wins, though, in 24 starts this year, but 5 seconds and 4 thirds. He's got over $200,000 this year. Post 8, though, pretty much the kiss of death.
Bill O'Donnell is in the sulky. He's won this race on 3 different occasions, including the 1985 Crown with Annihilator. He's 3rd on the all-time money-winning list with $75 million in purses. So there's a look at the complete field for the 3-year-old Colt Pace. About 6 or 7 minutes to post here at Northfield, Ohio. We'll come back and check out the top contenders for this big race in just a moment. Western Hanover, 15 wins this year. Almost won the Triple Crown, but was nosed in the Little Brown Jug. Right now, for a look at some of the top horses in this 3-year-old Colt Pace, once again, here's Gary Seibel.
The sports glamour division saw 14 hopefuls enter the Breeders' Crown this year as eliminations again trimmed the final field to 8. Unquestionably, the star of the 3-year-old pacing colt ranks this season is Western Hanover, harness racing's biggest money winner in 1992. But Survivor Gold has given him a run for that money and will likely do the same again tonight, and it would be only a mild surprise should he survive and take it all. Survivor Gold and Western Hanover met again last weekend in the first Colt Pace elim, both saddled with tough post positions. But Gold got the best of it right at the start, as driver Dave Wall alertly powered his colt to the front from post 5. Western, leaving from the outside 7 post, was not as fortunate, getting caught behind a tiring horse before being forced 3 wide on the backstretch the final time. He managed to make up ground on Survivor Gold and was just a couple of lengths off the leader as they turned for home.
on the outside Humstinger as they come to the wire. It's Survivor Gold. There they are.
Western Hanover, he's such a handy horse, and he's proved how good a horse he is. And the outside position on a half-mile track is very difficult for a horse. And if you get a little bit of jump on him, and they got to come from behind, the jump is what beat him tonight. And if I can get a jump like that, hopefully it can work out again.
Bouvon's Dream, a handsome Sun-Sam colt, is certainly looking good these days and is making quite a respectable year out of it. But it's going to take more than just good looks for him to capture the crown. And once again, the rail position proved just how valuable it can be here at Northfield. With the services of John Campbell, Bouvon's Dream took the lead from the outset. A very fast opening quarter of 26-4 was followed by a more moderate pace through the middle portion of the race as Campbell efficiently rated his colt on the front end. Meanwhile, Kingsbridge and driver Roger Mayotte were perfectly placed behind the leader. Bono's Jade was out and gunning and going a gutsy mile for pilot Doug Arthur, while Nuclear High and Direct Flight were also in the thick of things. But the bottom line, well, they had to catch the front-stepping Bouvon's Dream.
Stretch, they're on a drive for the wire. And bring them down Heartbreak Lane. That's Bouvon's Dream out there a length and a half. Trying to make it up on the outside. Here comes Kingsbridge with Bono's Jade, but it's Bouvon's Dream and Campbell. There they are.
And here's a look at the current odds for the 3-year-old Colt Pace. Survivor Gold 7-2, Bouvon's Dream 5-2. Western Hanover, the betting choice, at 4-5. So Western Hanover, although he lost last week, Stan Bergstein, is getting the most attention. What do you think?
Well, what I think is it was surprising a few minutes ago here. Survivor Gold was 12-1 on the tote board. And he went down to 7-2 in a couple of flashes. So some other people apparently felt the way I did. It was much too long a price. He's beaten Western Hanover twice on half-mile tracks. Back on July 25th, he beat him in the $330,000 final of the Art Rooney Memorial at Yonkers Raceway. And he beat him here last week. Of course, Western Hanover had trouble throwing 2 shoes last week. But I don't think that the horse deserved to be in double digits, and apparently other people don't either, because the tote board now reflects a strong wave of late support for Survivor Gold, particularly from the rail.
So it's the 12th and final race of the Breeders' Crown season. The 3-year-old Colt Pace. You can see we're just 2 minutes to post at Northfield, Ohio, one of the only racetracks in North America located in 2 counties. The top of the stretch, Cuyahoga, the rest of the track in Summit. And you can see there's a friendly kids environment here, a game room where you can spend a lot of time in there playing video games. We'll be back for the 3-year-old Colt Pace in just a moment. Here are the current odds for the last race of the night. Coming up live, Survivor Gold is 5-2, Bouvon's Dream 2-1, and Western Hanover is 4-5. Bono's Jade 17-1 might be a little bit of an overlay. You know, Stan, a terrific season for Western Hanover, winning 2 legs of Pacing's Triple Crown.
Terrific season for him. His consistency is what's carried him through, and they're going to try to test him. The 2 horses that the people here think have a chance of beating him are inside of him. They'll try to test him as far as they can by keeping him outside or parked in this race. One note on the success of George Siegel, going back to that subject, since he has been having such a phenomenal year. He bases it, as far as his pacing colts are concerned, mainly on the maternal side. He believes that the dam, the mother, must be by Albatross, who 20 years ago was the greatest 3-year-old in this sport. And Albatross has sired the dams of 4 of the horses in this race. Western Hanover, Kingsbridge, Humstinger, and Crouch are all out of Albatross mares. A mother makes a difference in racing as anywhere else.
Gary Seibel, Bouvon's Dream is getting some support, and while Western Hanover has dominated over the course of the year, Bouvon's Dream seems to be rounding into form.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind. First of all, he has the services of John Campbell. Anytime you have John Campbell in the bike, it always steps your horse up a little bit, and he's got a great deal of gate speed. He's coming off 2 consecutive victories, and he looked very, very sharp in last week's elimination. It'll be interesting to see who gets that early lead, whether it's going to be Survivor Gold or Bouvon's Dream. I don't think it's going to be Western Hanover.
Well, the Northfield Park track record held by 4 different horses. Western Hanover, Mantis, Noble Return, and Bouvon's Dream, 154-1. The world record set in 1985 by Falcon Sealster, 151 flat. First time at a half-mile track for this 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Pace in the Breeders' Crown. Let's go upstairs to track announcer Greg Young.
They're in the stretch, and here they come for the 1992 Breeders' Crown 3-year-old Colt Pace. They're on their way. Survivor Gold first away along the rail. Draws out, has that lead 3/4 of a length as they go in the clubhouse turn. Bouvon's Dream second. Western Hanover a quick third. And around the turn they go as they race for the backside. It's Survivor Gold out on top, a length and a quarter. Bullvon's Dream second, a length and a half. Western Hanover's there third. Kingsbridge sets fourth. Coming away fifth is Humstinger. Then it's Bow-Nose Jake Crouch, the early trailers, Lawful Hanover. They're single file racing to the quarter-mile mark. Survivor Gold cutting that pace, leads over there a length and a half in 27 4/5 seconds. In the far turn the first time. As they pace around to the top of the stretch, Bullvon's Dream is still sitting second, a length and a quarter. Western Hanover is there third, a length. Looking to the outside, Kingsbridge. Along the inside is Humstinger. Then comes Bow-Nose Jake Crouch and Lawful Hanover. In the stretch they come as they promenade down to the halfway point of the race. For running that field, it's Survivor Gold. Is out there a length and 3/4. Bullvon's Dream is second. Now on the outside, here comes Western Hanover. Kingsbridge moving up on the outside fourth. And on the rail, Humstinger, the half, 56 4/5. And around the club turn they go in her payoff half mile. As they head for the backside, Survivor Gold has that little length. In on the rail, Bullvon's Dream second. On the outside, Western Hanover third. Up off the rail, Kingsbridge is fourth. It's Humstinger fifth. Along the outside, Bow-Nose Jake with Crouch and Lawful Hanover. They're over at the 3/4 mile mark of the race. It's Dave Wall and Survivor Gold. They're out there 3/4, 1:25 1. On the turn, they're swinging and winging as they head for home. Out on top of that field, Survivor Gold. Western Hanover challenging along the outside. Right there, a close-up third, Bullvon's Dream. Kingsbridge to the outside, 3 wide. And now cranking up is Bow-Nose Jake. In the stretch they come. They're out 4 wide on a drive for the wire. Under the whip, fighting to hold it. Survivor Gold gives it up. Western Hanover takes over. Flying on the outside. Here comes Kingsbridge. On the outside, Bow-Nose Jake. What a finish for the Breeders' Crown. 3-year-old Colt Pace in 1:54 4.
So a big upset winner in the Breeders' Crown, the 3-year-old Colt Pace. The winner, Kingsbridge, the son of Jate Lobel out of the Albatross mare Aquina Hanover, owned by the Fern Stable, Kettleby, Ontario. Irving Horowitz is retired now, but for many years he's owned and operated many stores in Ontario. The breeder of this horse, Tom Crouch's Kentuckiana Farms, and the trainer, Kevin Banting.
Roger Mayotte had this horse in perfect condition here, second over behind Western Hanover. You couldn't think of a better spot. Western Hanover had pace coming to the wire, so he tipped off that colt and came on with just a little bit more pace than Western had. Western Hanover putting in a very game performance tonight, but it appears getting just nipped at the wire by Kingsbridge, who followed his cover. A very tight and exciting finish in this final Breeders' Crown.
And if you think a college education doesn't help, the trainer of the winner in this upset is Kevin Banting, who was a 1985 graduate of the Seneca College Harness Horse Industry Program up in Canada. You can't beat education, but you can beat the odds.
So driver Roger Mayotte gets his first victory in a Breeders' Crown. Kingsbridge, the upset winner, 9th win of the year for this 3-year-old brown colt, and a big upset in the process. The upset winner, the 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Pace. He was 3rd in the final of the North America Cup, and interestingly enough, Gary, he was the only horse tonight who was winless at 2.
And Roger Mayotte, what a percentage now, 1,000 batting average right now. Roger joins us here in the winner's circle, winning driver aboard Kingsbridge. Your first Breeders' Crown victory and a winning one.
Thank you very much. I was following a great horse. He told me right to the head of the stretch, and my horse is usually tough in the lane.
Tell us a little bit about Kingsbridge and the kind of year he's had.
It's a bit off and on. We had some luck in the Cup, and then we quit with him for a couple months in the summer because he wasn't heavily staked, and he was a little slow starting up, but the last 3 or 4 races he's been rounding back into shape.
Okay, we're going to pick up the race now, Roger. You're perfectly placed. You've got Western Hanover's cover on the outside. You're sitting 4th. You're in the 2nd over position, which means you have Western cutting the win for you here. What were you thinking at this point? Did you think your horse still had plenty left?
Yeah, he was still following pretty comfortably, and Western was working, pushing the pace, and that's what I was hoping for. And track's a little bit loose, and my horse just likes that kind of footing.
Knowing that John Campbell had the pocket with Bullvon's Dream, and he was getting pretty close to that flying passing lane there, what were you thinking about his chances of winning?
I wasn't even thinking about John. I was just trying to get by Western.
Now, it looks like you're about 2 lanes off, but your horse kicks in gear right now and starts to respond to your urging. It comes on and just nips Western at the wire.
Yeah, he never really quits. He just keeps coming, and I think Western was tiring a little bit.
You know, he was a little bit sick before the Little Brown Jug. Is he rounding back into his best form right now?
I think so, yeah. He was about 3 races that he wasn't 100%, but he is now for sure.
Roger from Mississauga, Ontario, congratulations on your first Breeders' Crown win.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Roger.
Thank you.
Roger Mayotte winning the 3-year-old Colt Pace and doing it in outstanding fashion as a long shot. He went off the board at 35-1, so there was a lot of support for Western Hanover, for Survivor Gold, and Bulvan's Dream.
Some very interesting things here. Western Hanover finishes now with 22 times first or second in 24 starts, and the winner, Kingsbridge, we were talking about Albatross Mares, which is George Siegel's success story. That's how he got beat tonight. Kingsbridge is by the great Jate Lobel from the very first crop by that super horse, who was one of the best 2-year-olds ever, and he is out of Aquina Hanover, who is an Albatross broodmare. So Albatross again reigns.
You know, the last loss for Arts Place was back in the Breeders' Crown, and now Western Hanover with the monstrous season and losing in the Breeders' Crown. Kingsbridge lighting up the tote board, 72-40, 17-65-80. Western Hanover second, 280 and 220. Bow Nose Jate, $4 to show. Time in the mile, 154 and 4. Now the official order of finish. As you saw, there were lots of favorites on the inside in Survivor Gold, Bulvan's Dream, and Western Hanover. Bulvan's Dream finished 5th, and Survivor Gold finished 7th.